Mates. It's McFly here to waste both yours and my time painstakingly mapping out where on earth that was. Goal of this channel is building super cool maps so you can be super cool and go to all the cool places and shows and impress all your friends. The show this week is the lads. Top lads, car lads, now boat lads, turning cars into boats. Here we go, this is the lovely Stoke-on-Trent beside Newcastle under Lyme. So we're going to zoom in. This is where the lads meet. So if we bring up the old video here, we can do a little skip through. And we see he's in a parking lot. Lots of these shots, lots of these shots, lots of these shots. What we're looking for is a bit of an angle. It's a bit of a good angle there. So, right, what have we got here? In the background, we have a square box looking building. And a little bit of a shape here, a couple of signs. Plot twist, I've already looked some of these up, and bam, we can see it here. So we've got a building here, and we've got these three parks, which is where they parked up, which is very cool. If we want to look at the map, you can zoom in here. We can see that same triangular shape, and we can plop a little marker down here. Number 1, where they parked up. Nice. Cool, let's zoom back out and have a look. So, I think they're going generally north-east. I always get my east and west mixed up, because I'm a terrible scout. So if we jump back to the video. Alright, hanging out. Very cool. There's some bodge. They basically just film their cars with foam, which I guess, you know, does the trick. I'm not a boat expert. Here is James, looking just majestic, but just mostly British. And marking up, it's not teak, it's wood with black marker. Anyway, skipping ahead, cup of tea. Some very outdated jokes. And, oh, look at that face. It's a good face. And eventually they're off. Look at them go. So we can see them coming out of the petrol station. We zoom back in here. That would be probably this exit along here. So we're going to assume they're heading south down the motorway. Look at them chatting. There's a bridge. Where is that bridge? I bet we can find it. Probably this bridge. But, you know, it's conjecture. And they're coming up. They're talking about the cars breaking down. You know, these cars break down a lot because they do not bother calling them. So here we have an off-ramp. This is the kind of awesome content you're going to get on this channel is shots of off-ramps. But where is that off-ramp? It's here. Look at that. It's the one. It's the same off-ramp. It has the same signs. Very cool. Now you know where the Top Gear boat special off-ramp was. And your life is better for it. Awesome. So if we jump in a bit, we can scroll ahead. Alright, they're on a roundabout. You see them going round as opposed to straight. Now, if we go back to our map, we should have marked that previous one. So let's chuck that one down. So we've got a marker. And got the boys. Number 2. Boys off-ramp. And then, yeah, well, you know, talking about the roundabout, bam, there it is. We've found the roundabout. Now, you're going to have to trust me a little bit on this. I did spend, like, you know, the normal amount of time finding all these locations and the normal amount of time verifying them, which is very normal. Anyway, the first thing we have coming up is the first breakdown. So, if we skip ahead again, chatting, intersection, chatting, driving. Here we go, look at that. The man has broken down. Where did he break down? That is what we want to know, because that, once again, will just make your life so much better. Plot twist is very close to where they were. So if we jump into here and have a look at this. So what have we got here? If we bring up the original video, we have a sign. If we go back one, we may have another sign. What have we got? Borough of Stratford, but it's hard to see, but that sign saying Hand Church. Anyway, if we scroll into here, what have we got? Borough of something that looks vaguely similar, and a sign. Now there is some other evidence. So talking about Hand Church, if we scroll out a bit here, Handchurch Fishing Club, Handchurch, you just gotta zoom out enough to see it. So, yeah, looking at this, we can go back. And what have we got on the left-hand side of this multi-directional sign? Which, bam, I mean, look at that. The evidence is overwhelming. We've got the Newcastle, the right, the something red circle with a truck, which I'm sure is critical British licensing information. You should know if you're a driver there. And I think we've nailed it. So he pulls over into there and has a breakdown. That sucks. He did pull onto the other side of the road, which is weird, but maybe that's something that will be explained later in the episode. Little Chekhov's gun for you there. So, it's really overgrown. It doesn't look particularly maintained. If you look at this, it's all very nice and airy. Although I will note with this is that they're clearly shot in the winter. And this is clearly the summer. Well, at least there's leaves, so yeah, maybe it's not so bad. Cool, we will stop talking about this and plop a marker down. So we have James Breakdown, number 3. James Breakdown. Awesome. So the other lads obviously didn't break down, having perfect cars with perfect engineering. And we can skip ahead to see what they're up to. So they're coming down the road. Hammond's looking concerned, and I think this could be a breakdown adjacent concern. And we're at an intersection. Where is this intersection? I know you're dying to know where this intersection is. So we skip ahead a couple of seconds. Oh, they're chatting. And then here, shot goes away, and bam, look at this. Majestic rolling British hills, which we love. Beautiful, I assume, Northern Territory. So, if we minus this down and bring up our next marker, damn, look at this. Now, it's not immediately obvious because they did something crazy in the last 10 years and they added a roundabout. But I've done a lot of scientific research here. So, what have we got? We have a pole. Is it a pole? There's 4 poles of interconnected metal. Would you call that a pole? Aerial? No, it carries power. I don't know. But crucially, we have a sign with Stoke-on-Trent. Well, I assume it says Stoke-on-Trent. Because if we go back to image here, we see the exact same sign with the exact same motives. But mostly we're just looking at the rolling hills. So we have 2 rolls of hills. Well, we have a hill with 2 rolls. I don't know how you define it. But look at that curvature. You can see that. We go back. See about that line? Got the aerial, we got the line. They installed a roundabout. That was confusing. That only took me like an hour to find the normal amount of... All this takes me the normal amount of time to find because I have a life, and obviously I do many other things other than this, but also it's took me a long time. Sweet. So, yeah, well, I know where that is. So if we come down here, we've driven down Trenton Road, and this is our pesky new roundabout. So these names, I don't even know what to call it at this point. Nothing really happened here. It was just intersection. But, one day you'll go to that intersection and you'll be like, they installed a roundabout. This is different from the episode. Cool. So now we've solved that case. Skip ahead. What have we got? So, he does not look happy. What happened to you? Are you breaking down? Is this it? Is this the end? So he's driving down here, and bam, we have a breakdown. He's pulling over. What clues do we possibly have here? We scroll ahead. There we go, bam. We have found it. What does that say? I think it says Whisper. And I think I'm going to convince you guys. I come into another exhibit we have here. Whisper Lane. Look at this. Look at this. This is Hammond's first breakdown spot. So, Whisper Lane, we've got like a bit of a weird curve. We've got bush on the right, hedge on the left, which matches perfectly. Also has text in it. We love when these shots have text in them. So, yeah, there it is. We're going to mark it down. Now, this is where the rap breaks down. This is very controversial, and I'm not here to dispel Top Gear illusions. I love the boys, I love the show, but apparently at times things were not in the exact order that they were presented in. Because Whisper Lane is backwards. It's back here. So, I don't actually know what I'm up to. 5. So, we jump into here. Number 5. Richard's first breakdown. Awesome. Cool, we're bringing back the curtain and we're finding out, the most important information ever. So, what have we got after this? So, he has a breakdown. That sucks. Oh, and here comes May. Now here's where things get very tricky. Now look at this. May's found him. That's awesome. They can hang out. This all makes sense. No, lies, it does not make sense. Because look at this shot. Where is Whisper Lane? Where are the bushes? Where is the hedge? And why are there 5 chimneys? It's a lot of chimneys. Too many chimneys. So, next example here. Here it is. So, let's go back to that shot. Let's verify some facts here first. Got chimneys. We have all the chimneys. Like, look at this crucial V-shape, double chimneyed executive Midlands house. I don't know if this is the Midlands. Please do not kill me if you're British. And, what actually sold this for me is the fence, because it's the same fence. That fence is doing really well. Please give me the number of your fence guy. Anyway, he pulls over here. Now, I just want to say something about this. Is that a good place to pull over? Leave your comments in the comments. Anyway, so we know he's here, but you know what this is? This is not where Hammond broke down. So we'll go back to our map and scroll out. Now this is here. So we can see a fence. Obviously you can see it from the sky down, because that makes sense. Anyway, here is our double-barreled chimneys. Here is another massive collection of chimneys. Anyway, we're going to pop the marker down here. So we've got hashtag 6, May and Hammond, cup of tea. Awesome. So we're seeing a bit of a continuation here. So we can see our lads left from Kiel, from the southbound services, all along the motorway, off the motorway, around the corner, down Trenton Road, and now they're on the A53. Cool. So let's have a look at what happens next. So they're hanging, explaining the cooling issues, the complete lack of cooling. Sort of just parked in the middle of the road, but, BBC pass. Having a cup of tea. Anyway, this is controversial. Where were those trees? So looking at here, we do have some trees actually. Could have been parked up facing the wrong way here. Or could have been parked up facing the wrong way here. And once again, I spent a normal amount of time looking at this, and I have some conclusions to give you. Do you remember where James originally broke down? It was here, and he pulled over to this side of the road. What is on the other side of the road? It's a different side of the road. Here. Now, this is not going to compel you. This is just trees. And, I've actually spent a bit of time trying to tree match stuff. I can have later examples where I've exactly matched the trees, but I have not attempted to do that here, because there are like 50,000 trees. But we're going to bring that one back up again. And this is not completely compelling. We can see a diminishing amount of curb, indicating a cutout. We can see a dilapidated fence on the left. Well, I think I can see it, but I could be projecting that. And we see a curb, but it's a British curb, Lots of curbs in Britain. How would you call which is which? But we have additional evidence. So, this. Look at that man. Our man is not happy, but crucially, what is behind him? Look at that. 2 barriers, obviously less overgrown. And the convenience of having pulled over on the other side from James. Now this, my friends, is an absolute conspiracy. Because in my hubris, how do I know that this is true? How do I know it's not one of those spots in our previous example? I did spend quite a bit of time looking at these trees. This fence is very different, and more importantly, that fence is consistent. If we look up here, there are no barriers or reason for barriers. And if we go back the other way, we can see, once again, reasonably consistent fence, and again, no barriers. So yeah, that is my controversial conclusion. So if we come back to here, then we are forced to continue the narrative by plopping down another marker right here for Richard, was it third, second, third, Richard's other breakdown. Alright, so this is a map of all the weird stuff I'm doing around here. Now there are some other shots that I would love to find, but I did not manage it. This one, where May splashes the ground, I spent a reasonable amount of time looking for that. I did not find it. I have a theory though. And that, because you remember when we got to the roundabout, well, the not roundabout, the intersection, there was a car missing. May was not with them. But look at this, Park Road. Now this is a medium-sized road that goes straight from the breakdown spot on the right here to the cup of tea spot. And yeah, I think it's somewhere in there. The other things I'd like to know is this house. Oh my god. It's like the richest looking house in the world, and I am pretty convinced that all these other houses are part of that house, which is just insane. And yeah, that draws a conclusion to this section. So, next up we have Newcastle upon Tyne, at home, Newcastle under Lyme. So the boys are shooting up the A53 up here and coming into town, and if we jump to the clip, can see them all hanging around. So, here is the first shot we're going to do. So on the left here we can see a big wall, bit of an apartment block, all three of the layers together. Where is that? It's here. So we can see that same wall, hasn't changed much. And we can also see that kind of apartment block. I've tried to angle it in the same place here, but you know, you can roughly see where we are. So let's map this. So the church is in here, there it is, that is the church. So our first pointer, we'll go down, we're looking down south, you can see the apartment block on the right. So what we're going to do is pop a marker down here. We'll change the name to, where are we up to? Hashtag number 7, and yeah, looking back at church. Cool, we'll go for a few of these. There's quite a few in the same sort of spot. So we'll jump back to it. So what have we got next? So we're going on the road. Very cool. People are noticing it's the boats. They're entering a roundabout. Where is that roundabout? I know you're dying. You're like, I need to know where that roundabout is. I need to go to Haywards. So, well, you're in luck. It is the Blackfriars roundabout. So if we scroll in here, easy win. Haywards right there. You can see the other name. It is identical. Bam, and that's done. Now again, TV magic. This is not actually in consecutive order. This is here. So hashtag 8, I don't know, roundabout. There's a few of them here. Do this pretty quickly. Done. Cool. Where they go next? Obviously around the roundabout. And this apartment block. Bit of magic here. I think I found it. It's right here. This is pretty much the exact one, I think. I don't think it's changed much since they were there. So yeah, it's really close to the church. So what we'll do is we'll pop it in. And what are we up to? Number 9. I don't know, weird parking building. Done. Easy. Cool. Next one. Dun 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 dun. It's the church again. So, once again, it's here. It's pretty much exactly where they were in one of the original shots. Just a bit closer to the church. So we'll pop another one down about here. You can see they're all kind of just all over the place, but they're all in the same bit of stretch. They got a lot out of this one bit of road. And so what's this? Number 10, again, church. Very exciting. Good to know all these things. Alright, let's have a look where they're going next. I think we actually move on somewhere else at some point. So I go along here. And more church, more driving. These shots are all around the same place. And come up the road, and here is where they say, listen, and this is critical, James May has got lost. See him coming off this roundabout here. Is he lost? Let's have a look. So if we scroll out a little bit, you can see more of the sort of general town here. And we jump to our example. We can find that exact roundabout. Now, not much has changed here. You can see that exact white building. But crucially, you can see those little fountains. There are fountains in the middle of the roundabout. That is very cool. Look at them. 10 out of 10 fountains. Sweet. Well, those are easy to find. So we zoom in here. Oh boy, is that a simple spot. And so James is heading this way. What do we call this? Hashtag 11. James gets lost. Awesome. Cool. So as the narrative goes, James is off in this direction, and we're going to catch up with the boys. So they're driving along, I think it's still the A53. And bam, look at that statue. That is a cool statue. It's a cool looking building. I'm curious what all that stuff is. Luckily for you, we know where it is. So, if we jump to our examples here, we can see Amphibious Street. I'm probably butchering that, but look at that. Beautiful city sculpture. I do love a sculpture. And we're going to place that down the map. Now, here's where things get interesting. James, who was lost, who headed up here. Right, so they're actually on the same street where the boys got lost, and that statue is here. So we zoom in here, we can see the post office travel money, which maybe that is the name of the statue. I cannot confirm. So we'll jump back to our shot, pick it out here, we see the statue, and we're going to pop another marker down here. Raising the question, was James ever lost? Or is that just a shot they used that didn't have the other boys in it? Alright, what are we going to call this one? This statue. Done. Bam. Okay, so the narrative here is that they're breaking down very badly, smoke coming out the back, not good, very bad. And as they come across, they pull over. Now, this one's kind of easy. They did legitimately pull over, and you're dying to know where. You're sitting there, you're thinking like, oh boy, do I want to know exactly where they pulled over, and I probably shouldn't even bother doing two markers here, but it is exactly here. So, hashtag, what are we up to? 13? Hammond breaks down, I don't know, what is this, like, the third or fifth location? We're breaking down, let's say fourth. Fourth breakdown. Pop it in. Awesome. Okay, so next up, we're wondering, where did James go? He got lost. How bad? How badly did he get lost? Now, this one took me a little while. Let's jump to the footage. So, coming along here, bam, bam, bam. He's lost. Look, he's trying to sail under a bridge, and a bridge has height limits. What a palaver. So there's a few clues here. So we have K2 motorcycles in the background. We have the simple fact that it's an overpass. There's not that many overpasses in the city. And yeah, you'd think this one would be easier. And it probably is easy if you're looking at it from the viewing perspective. It's here. Now you can see a few changes. One, those bricks have been covered up by lots of much smaller bricks, which I think is probably critical. Instead of just having the straight pass, we now have a big bumper, which probably is quite important for stopping trucks before they actually collide with the structure of the bridge. Now you're probably wondering why this took a little while. It's because it doesn't really look exactly the same, and maybe just because I'm a bit useless. But the thing that gave it away is that K2 motorcycle. So we can come back here, we can see it in the background. K2 motorcycles. Obviously this is not called K2 motorcycles anymore. But if we look on Yelp, we can see K2 motorcycles, that exact place. It's amazing, and it'll blow your mind, but the motorcycle shop changed its branding. So that's okay. Anyway, so we'll lock this one down. KMC motorcycles. This is the underpass. Where was the underpass? It's just down here. Now, it's a little out of the way, and we'll get back to this in a second. We're going to pop that down. So, what have we got here? Number 14. James sails under bridge. Yeah, unsuccessfully, but hey. Cool, so now you might be wondering, oh boy, is that like randomly not at all in the direction now we're going in? So let's have a look at that. Okay, so now the narrative goes back to the lads. What are they up to? What are the boys doing? Scroll for a bit of this. They're pulled over. They're still broken down. What shenanigans can they possibly get up to? They are posing for a speed camera. And now you're dying to know which exact speed camera that was. And, you know, I have the answer for you. We jump to here. It's this one. It's this one. Down there is exactly where they parked up. I don't know if you can see the statue in the background still, but it's around here. And bam. Not to be confused with the one on the other side of the road. There is a second speed camera. but it has a differently positioned arm. So if you look at the VLC, you'll see the arm goes inwards into the road. This one goes along the road. So you know, inwards into the road. It's important we always get the correct speed camera. And they would have been standing around here. Once again, a lot more overgrowth than it was back then. Cool. Let's pop that on the map, although to be fair, there's a lot of spots in the same spot. Look, you can see a little speed camera down there. Let's put it where they were standing. So we've got 15, speed camera. Nice, nailed it. Right. What is up next? Speed camera shenanigans. Aha, ha, ha. Now they're on the hill. Now this may seem like a pretty normal shot. Obviously they're out of the city. And they're just cruising. See them coming down here, driving along. So you're probably wondering where that hill was. So let's jump in and have a look. It is this hill. Now, if we look at the shots, we can see some stuff that matches up. So if we look here now, we can see there are 3 trees. I told you there'd be some tree matching. It is these 3 trees. Look at those 2 trees and a third with a branching arm. If I go quicker, it'll be more obvious. But tree matching. We love tree matching. How else would you ever know where anything else if you did not match the trees? And as we come down here, they just shoot down towards the lake. Now, next up, and this is really controversial. What were the many controversies of this episode? It is a very controversial episode. We go along, give it a few more seconds, and now Richard's complaining about being broken down. What does this look like? Does this not look like the exact same hill, but they're going the other direction? Now, once again, tree matching. Tree matching is the best. Look in the background here. 3 trunks. Where do we see those 3 trunks? Sadly, RIP'd. But it is the exact same bit of road. They have pulled shenanigans, considering the actual final destination is just on the left. You can actually see a gap in the fence, which is still a gap in the fence. Up here, gap in the fence. We love the fence match as well, as seen previously. Alright, so let's pop that location down on the map. So, this is our actual final destination here, the lake. And guess where that road is? It's literally just right here. It's Camrose Hill Road. So I'm going to pop a marker down here. 16, Hill Road with fake breakdown. These guys are not actually breaking down, or they are, and then just driving around broken down, I guess. And we'll jump back to our boys. So, back to James. Now, as you know, James got lost. He went down to that bridge. He could not get across the bridge. What's he up to now? Yeah, we'll just have a look. He's talking to camera. See some stuff in the background. I want to note that iconic chimney. It's going to come back in a second. And eventually it'll pan out. He's on a truck. He broke down. In fairness, he did say he broke down when he tried to go under that bridge. The engine cut out. So, this bit took me a little while to find. The thing about Stoke-on-Trent is you search Stoke-on-Trent chimneys. They have a history in chimneys. Look at these beautiful chimneys. Huge amounts of resources and images for those. But unfortunately, when you have huge amount of chimney history, it makes finding individual chimneys much more difficult. So, if we have a look here and we'll scroll along. Now, the thing that gave it away, and this was sort of a fun one, if we go through this shot and we go just frame by frame at the end here, just before it cuts out, what do we see on the left? Now, for your car nerds, that's obviously a Land Rover dealer. So we think, where are the Land Rover dealers? And you think that's going to be easy, but it's actually not. We go back here, I've pre-searched Land Rover dealers. They've all moved to the outskirts. So where on earth was this one? I went through every single Land Rover dealer. Bam. Here we have former Land Rover dealership. Yeah. Finally gave it away. We can actually see that little tower thing matches perfectly. And if we now go into look at Google Maps and look at our concrete tower, which yes, we did find it, but what's in the background? It's that old Land Rover dealer. We can see that same bit of tower right there. Very cool. This is an amazing brickwork on Stoke-on-Trent. Very impressed with this. Okay, now we're looking at some other buildings as he goes from the truck. We can see it go past, and on the right hand side there we can see a building with a bit of brickwork and sort of an iconic shape with 2 windows. And bam, there it is. They have changed the window frames, but the brickwork is the same. Fancy new Unite the Union place, shop. Honestly, I have no idea what Unite the Union is. So, one thing about this is, look at these frames. As we coming up here, he is going left. Here, he is going right. Now we know that this is shot here. We've got the chimney, the windows. What are these shenanigans? Why is he going both left and right? These are the mysteries of the universe we want to explore, but in the end of the day, seems like absolute shenanigans. Alright, so let's try to place that down. So if we look up here, we can zoom in here and we see our iconic chimney stack. And Unite the Union Stoke. And our ex-car dealer here. So we're going to pop a marker down here. So for James in the RAC truck. And now we have a whole narrative forming. You can see down there where he got stuck at the bridge. And we can see up here where they shot those shots of the RAC truck. All of this heading towards the lake. Alright, now we are back at the lake. Let's go across. So now they are sitting on a little jetty. And we're going to zoom in. Where was that jetty? Now I think it's right here. And we'll just skip a couple of scenes ahead and double check. So what have we got? Hang out there, danger, no swimming. We can see that square-shaped jetty there. And we can see they're all parked up by this building here. So if we have a look here, we have the building. This is one of the easiest spots to find. This is where they parked up. And over there is where they were sitting on the jetty. So let's mark that one down. You can see the building structure here. 18 Lake Meet Up Spot. Nice one. We're almost there, lads. We've done a really good job. Cool. I'm going to scroll ahead here. Now May is just shooting straight ahead with the boat. And we can see that in a second, he's just going to drive straight on down this on-ramp into the water. Where's our on-ramp? We all want to drive our car into the water. We all love to do this. This is a common activity. It's right here. So, don't let your dreams be dreams. Drive on down. 19. Launch spot. That sounds fancy. Like, launch is a type of boat. I think I was a Sea Scout. Once again, terrible Sea Scout. Cool, so now we sort of know that they're in the lake. And they just sort of like mess around in there for a while. This is the very entertaining bit of the episode. But of course, we're all about those roads and those locations, so they're in the same spot. That is boring to us. Look at them go though, very impressive. And they're just going to go around like this. This is a beautiful lake. Some of them weren't so successful. Hammond, they're in the drink. Clarkson, pretty successful with that large outboard motor. I know everyone like ripped him in for that, but not bad. And Hammond literally has a bucket with holes in it there. I've never seen that practical joke before, but hey, these are the value adds we have here. So we'll go along. What we're looking for is the end. Where do they end up? Where's the end of the race? Where can you end the race and win? So here they're coming in. And we can see them falling apart. Now look, we have a jetty here. A T-shaped jetty. Whereabouts is that? If we have a look here and zoom in, we see an L-shaped jetty. Now this is a massive red herring and you will lose the race if you stop at this jetty. I thought it was this jetty. I spent a lot of time looking at the footage. I thought that bit on the right with the kayak is where they pulled out the water, but it's not that jetty. Again, a lot of Scout references here. It is the Scout den on the right here. This is the actual correct jetty. They had just removed the T-parts. So we can get some evidence for this. Now James comes in and reverses up the ramp. Where was that ramp? Where did he win? So we know it was that Scout jetty. So that's our final destination we're going to plot on the map. Down here, right here. So number 20 and our final destination, James wins. Legit awesome. Cool. Alright, now to summarize. So we have a little dots here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share this map down in the comments so you can have a look. We're going to draw a little line of where they went. So we can see there's a bit of a big loop here. They shot on down along the motorway, turned right, did all their sort of out-of-town shenanigans along here, went up to Newcastle Underline. They then shot up the A53 with Richard and Clarkson breaking down by that speed camera. Jang's going off to have his own adventure with the underpass. Continued up the A53, up Durwood Lane, with just a minor detail up and down as we remember Camrose Hill. Cool, well, thanks everyone for watching. I hope that information is critical to your life and you've learned something that's very important and dear to you and will serve you well in the future to come. My name is McFly and yeah, have a good one.